Hey guys, just back from the grocery store and I got my food here. What we're going to go through is your grocery store game plan. Now, I wanted to do that in the grocery store, but here in Zambia, people aren't that comfortable with being filmed. Even if they say it's okay, you just read the room. It's not really something people are comfortable with. So I thought I'd do this here because it's quick and simple anyway. I just got meat today. I am someone who will occasionally eat what's called an animal-based diet, so some fruit, veg, and honey. Right now, I'm pretty much more carnivore, so it's just meat and eggs. I feel better that way, but the introduction of the water-based fruit and vegetables are just fine, and I'll just take you through how to go about that in the grocery store. Pretty simply, your typical grocery store, you want to stick to the outskirts of the grocery store. In those center aisles is all the processed food, long shelf lives, all of these preservatives and additives to extend its shelf life. So you want to stay away from that. The reason the outskirts of the grocery store is where the real food is because it needs to be alternated and swapped, taken in and out, because it has lower shelf lives. Meat, your fruit and veg is going to go off, so it needs to be on the outskirts so it can be alternated. Cool. Anyway, priority. As you enter that grocery store through the entrance, you go around the outskirts until you find the butcher. That is your priority. You go meet that guy or girl, woman, man, know them by name, and make sure you have some sort of relationship. That's one of the most important relationships you can have. Just making sure you know your butcher well. Knowing what cuts of meat are good, what's fresh, whether they have the extras like maybe organ meats or marrow, that sort of thing, if you want some of that. But at the butcher, you're going to start with a ruminant meat. So cow, sheep, goat, any antelope. Of course, that's quite a special thing. Game meat isn't available anywhere. But the ruminant animals have this multi-layered digestive system, and their meat is very good quality because they can filter out any toxins, pesticides, and it doesn't, any poor quality grain or feed they get, any toxins is filtered out because of this digestive system. Their meat's good quality. Pork, fish, chicken, and even the eggs, they don't have this digestive system, so any poor quality grain or toxins become part of their meat and fat, and you obviously ingest that. So the ruminant animals are best. If you're going to have any of the other things that aren't ruminant, then you make sure they're of best quality that you can get a hold of. You know the farm, or you know that they're raised well, and that shouldn't be a problem. But start with your meats, fish, poultry, eggs. Move on to the fresh fruit and veg. Make sure it's local and in season. When I mean local, like grown in your area, and ideally even an indigenous fruit and veg, because some fruit and veg that is grown here isn't even indigenous. So you're eating a lot of carbohydrates and sugar at a time where it shouldn't be available to you. So we have this overconsumption of carbohydrates and sugar just because we can now have fruit and veg grown in an area in a season that they're not supposed to be growing in our area. Does that make sense? So definitely, even if you go to your grocery store, of course, that's local. It's your local grocer. But be wary that the fruit and veg might be from different parts of the world. And you don't want to be having that, not just because you're getting fruit and veg and carbohydrates and sugars at a time of season where it's not natural to have that, but also because you are perpetuating, supporting a logistical system that I think is very negative to our country and our environment as a whole. So yeah, that's sort of my reasoning behind it. Of course, you choose what you do. Fruit and veg, honey. Some people who are doing these animal-based diets thrive having honey. It's a natural sugar. I sometimes play around with it, always take it too far when I have honey, and then I need to take it out again. Dairy, very rare to have raw dairy. And when you have raw dairy, it's got the right bacteria in and you can digest it better. But most people aren't able to get a hold of raw dairy. Pasteurized dairy, just fine if you're processing it fine. I mean, guys, I remember reading a statistic like 70% of people actually can't process lactose well. And there is a negative when you are lactose intolerant and you are consuming dairy. I'm one of those people, whenever dairy is a part of my diet, I don't feel my best, so typically have it out. Simple. Stick to the outskirts of the grocery store. Know your butcher by name. water-based fruit and veg, local and in season. That'll naturally manage your carbohydrates and your sugar intake. Stay away from the processed food aisles. But if you are going to go in and get processed foods, and just be aware of the ingredient list, make sure it doesn't contain things that you really don't want to have, unless you're consciously making that decision. Sweet, this is worth it for me. I'm going to have this thing. We all have our vices and things that we like and do. I mean, hey guys, even alcohol, the odd occasion, I'll have alcohol, but I have this rule with myself. Okay, I only drink tequila, lime, and soda, and that's what I have when I drink alcohol. So I'm just being vulnerable with you here, just so you guys know. I even have this crazy vice, like every now and then I do, maybe I shouldn't admit this one, but every now and then I do have this sugar-free energy drink, and I'm just like, all right, I'm going to have this thing. And yeah, that's like not every day, once in a blue moon type thing. Cool. Love it, guys. Chat soon. That's your grocery store game plan. I will attach a yes, no, maybe list. That is like when you go to the grocery store, yes list. Most of your food should come from there. The like sort of maybe, and then the food list that you should probably avoid. Love it. Chat soon.